Thank you, Ms. Barron. I found your testimony to be very compelling, particularly because you're living it. Often you have people up here talking about how you and other tipped workers what you should believe and what you should think. I would think that would be very demeaning and belittling to have someone, someone telling you that you just don't know what you're talking about. What's best for you?
Absolutely. One of the things that is really sort of just completely weird to me is that we have Ms. Jayaraman representing voices of the restaurant industry. As far as I'm concerned, Ms. Jayaraman's a labor activist from Berkeley. She's not worked in the restaurant industry. She's not an industry worker. She's not walked a mile in my shoes. For her to claim that she's the voice of restaurant workers like myself, I don't get it, and most of the people that I know in the restaurant industry don't even know who she is, and how she can be a voice for lifting workers. I don't know how that can happen. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it seemed that there's a lack of understanding of basic economics and the results of some of these decisions that are made. But you don't have to have an economics degree because you're experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah, I'm experiencing it firsthand. I mean, I live it every day. I see it every day. I live in Seattle, where these policies have absolutely devastated us, and more is coming. And all my friends work in the industry, and the stories that we get every day, that I get every day. Oh, Simone, you know what? I have to get another job. Why? Oh, well, they just cut all of our shifts. Me personally, I'm affected as well. My shifts have been cut now from 4 to 5 shifts a week down to 2, and maybe 1 a week if I'm lucky, and that's because this impending hike that's coming on January 1. And I'm not the only one.
Right, because if you require the employers to pay more and you eliminate the tipped credit, then the only way to accomplish that is to cut hours, right? Cut staff.
Yeah.
So you have fewer people working and providing services. It's more expensive for to pay those people, and the costs of everything goes up. So that you have fewer people working, and everybody's having to pay more.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things, the first thing that always happens is the support staff gets cut. And so we're talking about entry-level jobs here. Those are usually entry-level jobs into the restaurant industry. Those are your bussers, your service assistants. Those tend to be people of color, if you want to talk about it that way. People who are just starting out in the industry, maybe this is their first job in America even. But those jobs are getting cut. They're just getting cut.
Can you talk or touch a little bit upon, I'm sure you've seen the proposed change to eliminate the taxes on tips.
Yeah.
And how that is actually going in the opposite direction. To me, this is a war against tipped workers, but I think that this proposed change by the Trump administration might actually, you could respond to what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I don't know how they're going to work out no tax on tips. I think it's fantastic, though. And the reason why I'm saying, if we're sitting here talking about we want, higher wages, even if we have a higher wage, like $17 or more in Seattle, if I'm working in a restaurant that's really, really booming and I make a lot of tips one week, all of the taxes come out of that paycheck. I worked over Mother's Day weekend. I made a lot of tips. Even though I had that higher wage, my wage paycheck was only $25. So to me, it's not about the wages, the flat wage that I'm getting. It's about the tips that I'm getting. And then if we have no tax on that, then I guess then I would maybe benefit a little bit from having a higher wage, but it's all about the tipping. It's all about the tipping.
Mr. Boucher, can you touch on the cost of just complying with all the regulations, the burden of that and the impact on your businesses?
Yeah, sure. I've actually done the calculus a number of times over the years, and I think you alluded to this, that there's no question that we would have to cut staff and increase prices. And in our business model, we operate on a 3-legged stool approach to decision making. we operate, make decisions what's best for the employee, what's best for the customer, and what's best for the business. And they all have to balance that three-legged stool. And in this case, all three lose. All three would lose because we would cut hours, cut staff, guests would get worse service, and the business already operating on 3 to 5 cents of profit of every revenue dollar that comes in would shrink as well. So it would just devastate our business approach of the three-legged stool.
Thank you. My time has expired.